Alright, Jermaine done here, we're done audit the law. Now, let me respond to my unknown friend here. Now, carefully, we have to understand where the mix-up is coming from. Now, I always will say that there is no single statute which governs the conduct of any public body. The powers come from various statutes. So, watch the last video and you'll see where I get into that a little bit. Now, the Constabulary Force Act and the Road Traffic Act are two pieces of statute that governs the police conduct. The police is, the Jamaican Constabulary Force is a creature of the Constabulary Force Act. That's a statute that gives rise to the police force. All other laws are some enabling statutes that give some other powers to a member of the force. Now, apprehend. Section 13 of the Constabulary Force Act defines the duties of a constable. It says the duties of a constable is to keep watch by day and by night, to prevent crime and to detect crime, and to apprehend or summon. Keyword: to apprehend or summon any persons they suspect or reasonably suspect to be committing an offense, or they are found committing an offense. Yes. Then you have other provisions that gives that duty. Then you have the power. The Constabulary Force Act, Section 15, and some other sections down there, outlines powers of apprehension. So there's a duty to apprehend persons who they found committing an offense. But the power to apprehend without warrant is detailed in Section 15 and going down. 14, 15, 16, 17 of the Constabulary Force Act. Now, if you were to look at those provisions, there's none of those provisions which conveys a power to apprehend someone who is found committing a traffic offense. Everybody follow me? Except in Section 15, which speaks to the power to apprehend if any person found committing an offense, which is a similar provision to the common law power to arrest or any citizen, any person, any person, you don't have to be a constable to be able to arrest someone whom you saw you committing an offense. So the same power that. Now, with that said, if the officer has not seen, he did not see you commit the offense, then there is no power under the Constabulary Force Act for the constable to be able to apprehend you. And I'm talking about traffic offenses now, yes? So we must now look to other statute for that. Now, when you look at Section 91 of the Road Traffic Act, Section 91 of the Road Traffic Act speaks to the police power to stop, to give directions to a vehicle, and the driver is required to comply with those directions as it relates specifically to the vehicle. Now, there is no power here to apprehend the driver. Everybody follow me? So then, when we look at that, the power is given under Section 91 to a constable to stop a vehicle, to ask the vehicle to remain stationary, amongst many other things. Now, the police can exercise that power to stop the vehicle in the execution of a duty. And remember, one of their duties is to apprehend persons reasonably suspected of committing an offense. We get it? So, the police can use Section 91 of the Road Traffic Act to stop you in the execution of a duty under Section 13 of the said Constabulary Force Act, which is to apprehend a person who they found committing an offense or who they reasonably suspect to be committing an offense. Everybody follow what's going on? You sure you're following what's going on? So, we have to understand how these statutes are written. And what powers and duties they are conveying. And Section 91 is very clear. It gives a constable the power to give directions to the driver of a vehicle in the execution of that constable's duties. And one of the duties is to apprehend any person they found reasonably suspected of committing an offense. So therefore, if the constable, which is why people ask, am I free to go? You have stopped the vehicle, but am I apprehended? Am I free to go? Because they are stopping the vehicle because they want to possibly apprehend you. Yes? So, you ask the question, am I free to go? Or some other questions that will confirm that you and not only the vehicle is now detained. Once the constable is apprehending you as the individual, fast forward now. So when the police stop your vehicle is apprehended. When the police now start to ask you for things now like documents and driver's license, you are now sure that you are apprehended, because failing to give any of those comes with a consequence, and that is that you have committed an offense. So once a constable says documents and driver's license, it's not only the vehicle that is being apprehended. The constable is now executing the duty of apprehending you, and the Constabulary Force Act makes it clear that the apprehension of persons is persons who the constable either see committed an offense, or if the person or they reasonably suspect to have committed an offense. So you see, anytime the people understand how to interpret statutes and recognize that multiple statutes play hand in hand with each other, yes? Look at the Firearm Act. A constable can only stop a person who they what? Reasonably suspect to be carrying a firearm. See that again? So to stop you, the person or their conveyance, that is an apprehension. This statute is consistent, that Firearm Act is consistent with the Constabulary Force Act. Yes? And all the other statutes that conveys a power to apprehend or to detain, to stop. All of these statutes are consistent. This Section 91 of the Road Traffic Act, it does not say the constable need reasonable probable cause to stop you or to direct that the vehicle remains stationary. Yeah? To stop the vehicle. Key thing, the vehicle. Yes? It did not say the constable need reasonable or probable cause or reasonable suspicion to stop the vehicle. However, it states in the execution of a duty. So if the constable is going to stop you to then stop the vehicle, to then detain you, in other words, to apprehend you, because once you are not free to go, you are apprehended, then it is very clear in the eyes of the law, the constable must have reasonable suspicion of an offense, or the constable must have observed you committing an offense. Leave a comment to let us know that you get this. Don't know the law.